If something's bad, I want to get out of there as soon as possible.
But are you going to let them know that it's bad so that they can improve it for the next person?
They're not going to improve
or are
anything.
You like,
once I put that fruit out, that's where it is for me.
Well, it's still your fruit. You got to stand behind your fruit.
Hey, I stand behind my fruit.
So?
Hey, you got a bad peach? That's an active guy.
but I think you can say, and I have said, hold on, hear me out. I want you to hear the nuance in what I'm about to deliver. I did not enjoy it.
You know, this whole place is going downhill. I could have come in here last week with a bad plum, but I let it go.
Well, I got a perfect solution for you. Take your business elsewhere.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it, we all about it. They making plans, we sit and count. Our chair is stacked just like a mountain. You heard about it, she running her mouth.
Good morning. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We're trying something new today. Josh, this was a total ploy. So let me just give the background. Happy Monday, by the way. Josh just tells me they don't have any sound in the studio, so I'm going to bring it back 20 seconds before the start of the show.
Yeah.
Very skeptical. Did this come from up above? Hey, let's see if he can drive the bus today. Don't give me the bus to drive on a Monday.
You need a warm-up?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday's fine, but not on a Monday. How was your weekend, buddy?
I had a great weekend, Chewy. I didn't watch any sports really at all. I consumed a ton of trade content with Luka Doncic being traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis. But it was a pretty good weekend. You seemed like you had an interesting weekend. I know we received a text message from you with a little explanation about some pizza. Do you want to dive in?
What time was that? What time was that at?
I'd have to refer to my phone, but it felt like it wasn't too late at night. It was
okay. So
it was
here's
saucy time.
Here's the thing. I think my last birthday, Angie bought me an Uni, which is a real nice pizza oven. Okay, but we had problems with it right out of the gate. Nothing to do with the machine. It was
User error.
More user error. So we couldn't figure it out. For the longest time, we had trouble getting the pizza off of the paddle smoothly into the oven. Kind of mushed up, kind of looked like a big ball. Even though it tasted good, it looked disgusting. So we kind of put it on ice. I would say that thing's been on ice for a good 6 months.
Wow.
So we decided to bring it back. So Ange does a little research, and it was their website that said 10 tips to using the Uni, which were all very helpful. So we wanted to go back to square one and just work on getting the pizza off of the paddle. Now, there were a few things that said you can't make the pizza and leave it on the paddle too long or it'll stick. Don't use too many toppings. Keep the toppings simple, which I don't have a problem with. So there was a little apprehension. So we make the pizza, fire the Uni up. No problem getting it off of the paddle. They said you could never use enough flour.
Yeah.
Which we smothered it on.
A little lubricant to get it off of the little...
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So we were so focused on that, and we had, 3 couples over. So the girls were inside preparing the pizza, and our focus was to get the damn thing off the paddle. And we did. First one, Dyson was here, our second son. Right off. Things looking great, Joshy. Right? So it stays in for about 8 minutes. Dyson's turning it, flipping it. Comes out, looks wonderful. We cut it up. Tastes like crap. We're like, all right, we took a step forward, but I guess we took 2 back. No one could figure it out, right? Now, Josh, if I was to guess, this is probably 8:30 at night.
Yeah, so I looked. It was 7:30 your time when the text message was sent.
So 6:30 you. Now, keep in mind, we had a late lunch at an establishment, so
Maybe
Kinda
a
know
little
what that
couple
means.
wine.
So we're eating the pizzas, right? And the girls, this group just gab. They get a little distracted at time. So we had about a piece. We're like, the crust is great and sauce. We're like, what the hell? The girls came out and said they forgot to put the cheese on the pizza. How do you forget to put cheese on the pizza, Josh? I don't care how juicy you are, but there are 3 main ingredients on a pizza. The dough.
Yeah.
The sauce.
Yeah.
And the cheese.
So I want to put a pause quickly in this. Had you consumed the pizza, determined it wasn't all that great, and then later found out the lack of cheese, like was everyone eating the cheeseless pizza going, I mean, it's pretty good, but it just doesn't taste right?
We were still riding a high on the fact that we got it off the paddle.
There was such an
So we didn't really care what it tastes like. We were going to address that later on. But the thing is, well, it's really 2-part. How do you forget to put the cheese on?
Yeah.
And how do you know when you're eating it there's no cheese on the pizza?
Well,
if that gives you any indication of what the afternoon was like, then pretty smart.
Part of me believes it's easier to forget it than not to notice that it is not able to be tasted. Like, part of me thinks, like, I would sooner, you're doing a lot of things, you're making sure the dough, you're getting all that good to go, but once you taste it, it would feel so obvious because, like, the cheese pull and the stringy cheese of a pizza is, like, an essential part of the equation.
I agree. But it was essentially, what was the first pizza? The first pizza was sauce and sausage. But it was an Italian spicy sausage. So I think you got a little distracted by that.
So wait, hold on. I thought there was only one pizza that was sauceless. You're contending that there was you had already consumed one and then realized it? Well,
Angry, who I've talked about on the show before.
Legend.
Is doing a dry February, which I don't. He's a boat rocker. You know what I mean? He doesn't conform to the masses. He likes to run the race by himself. So he didn't tell us on the second one, but it came out. I can't remember if we figured it out. And the cheese looked strange because he was like putting the cheese in between. The second one was mushrooms and pepperoni.
Okay.
So I looked at that and I'm like, why doesn't that look right? Can I ask you another question?
Yeah, you sure can.
Do you put the meat, whether it's bacon, whether it's sausage, whether it's pepperoni, on top of the cheese, or do you put it below the cheese?
I put my toppings on top of the cheese. I go sauce, cheese, then toppings. Some places do mix it up. I don't hate it if it is switched up for whatever reason, but I like the traditional, like you would have where it's crust, sauce, cheese, toppings. If you want to sprinkle a little on top of the topping, like on the toppings, I think that'll do. Like, I'm not going to be mad about it, but I think there's a clear order of operations there.
I understand the argument of you want the meat on top because whatever grease is in the meat, it'll soak. The grease will soak through. But I like encapsulating my pizza in the cheese.
So you want sauce and then toppings with cheese over the top of the whole thing?
Certainly with vegetables. I don't think vegetables go on top of the cheese.
I got to be honest, I hadn't considered this, Chewy.
Because I don't think they're going to cook properly if they're above. I don't know. It just, to me, I like my vegetables underneath and maybe the meat on top.
So pizza's been a thing in America for a long time. Obviously, over in Italy, it has earlier origins, and there are different styles. You're trying to reinvent the classic. Well, would you say the pizza you made was closer to like a New York slice than any other?
Like a Neapolitan, and I don't know what Neapolitan means, but it felt like a Neapolitan. Is Neapolitan just airy? Is that what it means in Italian? Is just airy?
I don't know. This is the classic, like the definition we got from the Supreme Court about pornography. You know it when you see it. I don't know what makes a Neapolitan a Neapolitan. I just know when I see one, that's what I've got there.
I think just people like to say it. It's like fiancé. Oh, this is my fiancé. Have you met my fiancé?
It feels
this is my fiancé. Oh, I love Neapolitan.
It feels
No
like
one knows what the hell Neapolitan is unless you're a chef.
It feels like a description for a style of pizza where it's airier, it's got the bubbles, and like there's little sauce exposed, which is not really common in most pizzas. You've usually got a good base of cheese to go in between the two. So Neapolitan feels like the kind of just skimp you and throw on like a couple pieces of mozzarella and let that melt. But I want cheese every bite.
Yeah, this had the big air pocket. You know the air pockets?
Yeah, of course.
So it had those. So I guess it was Neapolitan. So, I don't know. It all turned out. You know what? I'm just happy we got the damn thing off of the paddle. Because you need a starting point. So we accomplished that. I think we need to oversee, because the girls really gab.
Well,
they gab.
The gab increases per glass of wine. That's kind of how that goes there. So once the first bottle popped, the gab's going to keep going. Are you saying you're trying to take over the pizza making process in your place?
I think someone needs to oversee them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can't. Right. This is a teamwork thing here. There's a lot going on. Did you guys create your own dough, or were you using like a dough that then you stretched?
There's an Italian joint down the road that makes the dough, so
it's
nice. Very good dough.
Yeah, the dough is the big part there.
So now we won't wait 6 months, but it's one of those things you can't have like every week. It's just too much. It's kind of a treat thing. So
it's a whole.
We'll bring it back in like a month.
If you're doing it right too, you got flour all over the counter. Yeah. You got your all sorts of toppings.
Oh, it's a big mess.
It's a whole process there. It's not just you don't just roll out of bed and make yourself a quality za. How does the uni work? Is it electric powered?
No, it's gas. It's propane, and it has a stone in the bottom of it that gets it's supposed to get up to 800 degrees.
Yeah.
And then it's got the burner on the top. So, yeah, we got it dialed in. It's a great oven, great pizza oven. So you said you watched nothing this weekend? No Pro Bowl?
No, I honestly forgot the Pro Bowl was happening. I intuitively know that always happens in between the week there, but it doesn't seem like it didn't even. I'm on social media. It didn't even crack the social media sphere. It was all Grammy stuff, and of course the Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis trade as well.
Yeah, I did see that. So should it just go away? The Pro Bowl.
I think it's probably better off.
Jen, I think they just do it during the week, do their little stupid skill stuff. I did watch Flip It On a little bit, and they were power walking. Did you see that part of it?
What?
It was, it's so cheeseballish. You have to be the ultimate football fan.
What do you mean they were power walking as in the game looked like they were power walking, or power walking was one of the events?
No, they were power walking with a football. I guess there's rules. You can't do something with your hips when it comes to power walking.
I believe you can't have both feet off the ground like you would on a sprint.
Yeah.
You have to have one foot always touching the ground.
It's just painful.
I think we have Jen with us now, Chewy.
Can you hear me, Chew?
Yeah, I got you.
So, do you think you watched more of the Pro Bowl yesterday than you will of the Super Bowl this week?
I didn't watch any of the Pro Bowl.
But you just said you saw the walking thing.
No, that was Thursday. I didn't watch any yesterday, but two of our couple friends stepped up and are having the Super Bowl party.
Oh, here
and
we go.
Now you are.
Was announced. We're going. Mm-hmm. It's one where you bring a dish. Mm-hmm. Me and Ange have settled on
wine,
meatballs. You can't go wrong with meatballs, right?
I made meatballs yesterday. Let me ask you a question about your meatballs.
Time out. Give me a timeout.
Okay, 30 or full?
Hold on. Did you make the meatballs, or did you go to Glorioso's, get the meatballs, and pawning them off as made, putting them in a crock?
Did
you make the meatballs?
Made them, and that's what I was just going to ask you is, what's your ground beef to pork ratio on your meatballs? Because the recipe I was following...
Or maybe 3-1.
Okay. The recipe I was called for 50-50, 1-1. And I was like, that's a lot of pork. That's a lot of ground pork. So they're good. Everybody loved them, which is great. But I was like, I don't know about this.
Did you have them with pasta, or did you have them as
we made
sandwich?
sandwiches last night.
Okay, there's
So-
nothing like a good meatball.
Oh, they're so good. And look, like there's so many different meatball recipes out there, and I'm still trying to figure out which one my family likes. But they all loved this one, so it might be the go-to.
Are you breadcrumbs?
No, you want to know what it was? I will tell you.
Polenta.
I will tell you the secret part of this one that I was like, I don't know about this. It was soaking French bread in warm water, squeezing out the water, and putting that in. So I took 3 French rolls, soaked them in warm water. They said 3 to 4 minutes. Soak it in the warm water. Then squeeze it out like a sponge, and it's like a gush, right? It's like a mush gush. You throw that in with the pork and with the ground beef, with the parsley, the basil, the eggs, the salt and pepper, rosemary, a little bit of rosemary.
What is polenta?
Garlic. Just trying to think of what else was in there.
I don't know if this is correct, but I always view polenta as close to an eggplant.
I thought it was closer to a mashed potato.
Yeah, I think it is. It's more like a grain type of thing, right?
Yeah, but I've had meatballs.
I feel like I've only had it
using
infants.
that instead of the bread. And they were actually really they were good.
Hey, I'm willing to try it.
Can I make a confession?
Yes.
I'm out on meatballs.
Out completely?
Out on them.
Why? You've never had a good one?
I grew up in an Italian family. I would imagine they're pretty proud of
Real,
those.
maybe, but were
I've
they
been
good?
to plenty of places. Also, same thing applies to meatloaf. Don't like meatloaf.
So they're just the meat. Then.
There's something about hunks of meat that are that big that just I could have a cheeseburger, but I do not. I'd rather a smash than a thicker cheeseburger.
Uh-huh.
It's just something about a big glob of meat that is really off-putting.
That's comfort food, Joshy, and you got comfort days up there when it's mashed potatoes, meatloaf.
Believe me, there is a disagreement in the household on things like that because I'm not a big fan of chili either.
What about a meatball sandwich? Not just have to eat the meatball by itself. Out on meatball sandwiches.
I feel like you never end up with the meatball still in the sandwich. You have to cut them in half, and then you're negotiating. You're sliding all around. You got sauce in there mixing with cheese, and it's just a big sloppy mess.
Excellent point. They are messy.
But you got to toast the bread, right, Jen?
It depends. I like a toasted bread, but not everybody does. Some people like the softness, right? And if you get a good roll, you get a good piece of Italian bread, you got that crunch on the outside anyway, and you got the softness on the inside. Now I'm hungry, and these grapes I got over here for breakfast are not going to get it done. We had a lot of stuff to get to this morning on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. There was a monster trade that took place in the NBA. A lot of people scratching their heads this morning. Would the Packers ever consider trading their best player? It seems ridiculous. It seems obvious that the answer is no. But then what the heck were the Mavs doing this weekend when they traded Doncic? We'll talk about that as the show goes on. Plus, guys, get your dialing fingers ready. At the 45s this morning, 7:45 and 8:45, we are going to play Superb Owl Squares. If you're new to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, we'll fill you in. If you've been around for a while, you know how this works. We got a bunch of trivia over here. We're going to give away spots on our Superb Owl Squares board, and there will, of course, be a prize at the end after the big game on Sunday. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, all of us. Gabe is back as well. Rolls on right after this.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, we have a couple of issues now on 894. We've got an accident on northbound 894 just north of the Hale interchange with the left lane block. That's backing things up onto the Rock Freeway all the way back to Highway 100. And then we've also got another one on northbound 894. This one is just about at the ramp from Greenfield Avenue off on the right shoulder. Also got a word of some debris in the roadway on the Rock Freeway northbound right about at Oakdale Drive. They are saying that there's a chair in traffic. Folks are kind of swerving. So just be extra careful if you're heading through there. Traffic is brought to you by Racine Danish Kringles, now offering a heart-shaped Kringle with pink icing and raspberry, chocolate silk, cherry, and pecan flavors. Order at kringle.com or call 1-800-4DANISH. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Patchy fog, mostly cloudy otherwise. Slight mix to the north, a high of 39 tonight. Partly cloudy, a low of 19. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
It's really been amazing. The amount of people that I've had contact me, and the talk is generally centered around QC Kinetics, and whether it's a knee, whether it's a back, a hip, shoulder.
He's always happy to talk about how QC Kinetics all-natural regenerative treatments finally gave him relief without surgery. That's former pro football player Bobby Carpenter.
My message to them is do not wait and push off a week, a month, whatever it is. So if you want to feel better this summer, now would be the time to get in. If you want to feel better in the fall, make sure that you're getting in here so you can go out and play golf and do the things that you love and enjoy.
Spoken by a man who experienced relief firsthand. QC Kinetics gave this former pro athlete back his mobility, his activity, and they'll do the same for you.
Has really helped me in just my general quality of life.
Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today. QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Where else can you get football analysis that includes things like dropsies and pixies and interceptsies and flowy? It's flowy. The offense needs to be more flowy.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Shout out to Chew, huh? Let's shout out Chew for a moment. Technical difficulties over here in the studio. Chewy's got to run the show. I know, not the most ideal day.
I think we should make him run the show the rest of the day.
I got the pizza off the paddle.
Is that a metaphor?
Was there any cheese?
No, there was no cheese.
No, I bring the cheese. We know that. Greg in Germantown also weighing in saying props to Chewy. He did a great job driving the bus this morning. So there you go. Folks are appreciative. A lot of people telling you, Chew, what polenta is. Italian grits, according to Nicholas. Chef Ed saying it's a cornmeal porridge or a type of oatmeal. Carrie in Mayville wants you to know that Neapolitan is when things are from Naples.
That's it?
You were expecting more? When something is Parisian, do you say, that's it?
We were debating why. Because a Neapolitan I compared to like the Supreme Court ruling on pornography. You know it when you see it?
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know what makes it Neapolitan. It's just the look of it, but I did try and get to, it's probably just the style.
Okay.
Like a Detroit style.
Okay, I'm glad that you bring that up because we had this debate in our house this very weekend. What a coincidence. Maybe it was inspired by Chewy subconsciously. I don't know. But we were talking about our favorite types of pizza. So you got the cracker crust, you got hand tossed, you got Chicago style, and you have Detroit style. Now, is New York style a different thing as well? Different than, okay,
New York, that's like a large slice, thin,
floppy.
kind of floppy.
Yeah. So I have decided, bang the gavel, Detroit style pizza is my favorite pizza.
What is Detroit? I've never heard of that.
I like the spongy little, like the.
So it's a pan-style chewy, but then it's a rectangle. It's got the crispy corners with the cheese that's kind of melted. And,
a little thicker, but not crazy like the. What do you mean, nope? I'm telling you my opinion.
I'm just saying, it brings me back. It brings me back to grammar school, where they used to serve that, and it was just not good.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I had the same exact pizza. That pizza seemingly was served in schools for 50-plus years.
The rectangle that fits perfectly in the lunch tray?
Yes. Yeah.
No, that pizza is fantastic, and I will not listen to any sort of argument otherwise.
In that pan, because it's an auto parts pan that it's cooked in. And the crust is not as thick as you would think, and it's airier, so it's closer to a super crispy. Like, I like thin. And then next one is Detroit.
But I'm starving after I eat because Dario likes the wafer, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we go to a spot in our town that has that, and I'm eating the whole thing. Right. But that's why I like the thicker one. It feels like it satisfies a little bit more. The Detroit style pizza.
Have you ever had pizza on an English muffin? That is outstanding.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we grew up.
Is it?
Bagel bites?
No.
I mean, we got it from a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book that I had, so we called them Splinter's Easy Pizzas when I was a kid.
Oh, I kind of love that.
Yeah, but you got to make them yourself. If you make them yourself.
Correct.
Now, wait, here's a big question, though. Do you toast them first before you throw them on the pan, put the sauce on and the cheese?
I'm not qualified to answer.
I mean, I don't remember from when I was 7.
We didn't know this would be a quiz, Jim.
It's been a year or two since I've actually made one.
Yeah.
Several decades, if you will. I think you got to toast them first. I think you got to throw the English muffin in the toaster. Not major toasting, but lightly toasting, because otherwise it's soggy when you put the sauce on.
Yeah.
So you need it to have a little bit of like that crispness to it. And then the other thing I will say, a hack on the old Splinters Easy Pizzas is disc of Canadian bacon. The disc of Canadian bacon fits perfectly, obviously, like a breakfast sandwich, right there on the individual pizza.
I feel this is a type of pizza you only make if you have children.
Yes.
Well, we made it when we were kids.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't had it in a very long time. Don't have kids. Not planning on eating any sort of English muffin pizza anytime soon.
Before we stray too far on Detroit,
I was going to say, I thought that train had left the station.
Detroit. The Palermo's Detroit style is the best frozen pizza I've ever had in my entire life.
It's really good.
I like it that much.
Really?
It is so good. It comes in a special pan.
Yep.
The toppings are over the side, so the cheese crisps with the crust, and it is as close to you could get as like a served pizza at a restaurant straight from your freezer. It's unbelievable.
I love that.
All right. Question. What's the difference between Canadian bacon and ham? There is no difference. Why don't they just call it ham?
I believe it's the word, right? It's just the difference.
It's ham. Am I right?
Well, it's like, what's the difference between sparkling wine and champagne?
Well, it has to come from the
That's
Champagne
a region
of
though.
France.
Maybe it has to come from Canada. I don't know.
Do Americans make Canadian bacon? I don't know.
Probably can't. Probably not allowed. Where was this Canadian bacon made? Detroit?
Apparently, Canadian bacon is taken from the pig's loin, resulting in a leaner, milder flavor, while ham comes from the hind leg. Typically offering a richer, saltier taste with more fat content.
Not sure I needed to know all of that, actually.
Loins.
And hinds. Hinds and loins are things I don't want to hear about at 7:28 a.m. I will give you one other variation that we have occasionally done. While we haven't done the English muffin pizzas in the last, like you said, since we were kiddos, Dario and I have done portobello pizzas. Hear me out. You get the big portobello mushroom caps, okay, and you smash them. And then you do the sauce and the cheese and the toppings and whatever, and then the mushroom crisps in the oven, and it's like a crustless pizza option.
All right.
Very good.
Is that for health reasons or taste?
I believe it was when Dario was doing no carb.
Okay. All right, that makes sense.
He's like, because it sounds awful.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, if I want mushroom, I'll just put mushroom on the pizza.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right on top.
Yeah.
Sprinkle those suckers right on there.
Excellent point by you guys. Okay, lots of stuff to get to this morning. Obviously, you guys saw the big trade that went down in the NBA. Again, I can't wait to tell you guys the story about how I learned of the big trade that went down in the NBA, but that's next. Gabe?
Well, we were just talking about pizza, so you could taste what all the screaming is about with a hot deal at Festival Foods. Get your screaming Sicilian favorites. Original, thin and crispy, tavern style. Josh, she also mentioned it. Detroit style is part of that family as well for $4.99. Stock your freezer with a hot deal from Festival Foods now through February 4th. Buy one, get one, screaming Sicilian. Now that's something to scream about. Stop by your local Pick and Save or Metro Market store. Pick up screaming Sicilian original, thin and crispy, or tavern style. Buy one, get one, all from our friends at Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, we have a couple of accidents to deal with. First of all, on 894 northbound, just north of the Hale interchange, left lane's blocked. That means we've got backups back through the Hale in all directions, so be careful with that. We've also got an accident on northbound 894 at Greenfield Avenue, just before the Zoo interchange. This one's off on the right shoulder. Other than that, we got delays eastbound 94 from 84th Street all the way to Hawley Road, and then again right through the Stadium interchange to about 35th Street. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Patchy fog, mostly cloudy skies, slight mix to the north, a high of 39. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 19. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Kevin Moret here from Mentality. Life's a relentless competition, and you might be losing without even knowing it. With testosterone levels plummeting 25% in just 2 decades, you're likely operating at a fraction of your potential. Your kids sense it when you're too exhausted for playtime. Your wife notices when that spark fades. Here's the harsh truth. Without addressing low T, nothing works. Diets fail, workouts fall flat, but there's hope. Mentality's FDA-approved treatment restores testosterone by an average of 30%. Don't let low T rob you of life's precious moments. Start at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
James Imaging Systems. Local support, local accountability, local business technology representatives. Listen to Matheson Manufacturing President Al Leidinger.
She still checks in to see how things are going and if we need anything. So I really do appreciate that from a customer service standpoint.
Michael Quizan, IT Systems Administrator at Great Midwest Bank, discovered the benefits of working with the local team at James.
Our cost from supplies perspective went down. I mean, we're talking about thousands in a year. So we saved a lot of money by bringing James Imaging on.
James Imaging Systems client Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales with the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, on dealing with James.
They are making sure you get the full value and life of every product that you have with them.
Local support, local accountability, local people. Get it all with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
So many of our youth carry unimaginable burdens. Anger, depression, even thoughts of suicide. At Rawhide Youth Services, we recognize their pain. We help them find hope and healing. For those that need a second chance at life, we refuse to give up on them. Please be a part of our life-saving work. When you donate your used vehicle to Rawhide, you're helping change the lives of countless youth in our communities. Go to rawhide.org/donate and help them realize a brighter future today.
Guys, let's talk about something important. That's you. Hey, it's Brad Nortman. Taking care of your health and appearance isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling strong, confident, and ready to take on the world. At Quintessa Aesthetic Center, they make it easy. With experts in advanced skincare, body contouring, and anti-aging treatments, Quintessa's here to help you stay sharp and at your best. Trust me, when you look good, you feel even better. So why wait? Visit myquintessa.com and take the first step toward a more confident you.
It's party time at Cousins Subs. For a limited time only, Cousins is bringing back their famous 2-foot party subs. Whether it's for a big game, family gathering, or work celebration, Cousins 2-foot party sub is sure to be a crowd pleaser. Choose from the club, ham and provolone, Italian special, or turkey. Each party sub is just $39.99, feeds 5 to 8 people, and requires 24-hour notice to order. Order today through February 9th in store, online, or on their app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I mean, pumpkin seeds.
No, little suckers. They might be. What did you say before, Jen?
Sesame but those seeds are white.
Yeah. No,
white.
these aren't white. No, this isn't on the outside. This is on the inside.
Seeds on the inside.
Oh,
yeah.
So you got some sort of like
scrotum.
On 94.5 ESPN.
just about 10 minutes away from Superb Owl Squares here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We do it every single year, the week of the big game. We got trivia from our friend Paul Hembekitis over at ESPN Radio. You know him as Hembo. He has given us a long list of questions this morning to hopefully have some winners to fill out our Superb Owl Squares board. So get your dialing fingers ready. We will do that in about 10 minutes. And again, at 8:45 this morning, 2 chances for you guys to win this morning. Chew, do you remember Superb Owl Squares? Do you remember that we do this every year?
I do. What is it, the 5th year running? 5th or 6th? 5th year?
Is it really? How long has this show been on?
We're in our 5th year.
Huh.
Okay. This is your idea. Take a victory lap.
No, I'm just, again, I'm yeah, I suppose we have been doing the show for 5 years.
Yeah. It'll be 5 full years in the fall. But
the only thing I remember about Superb Owl Squares are the questions.
Got it.
Yeah.
What was that?
Mr. Vandalay. Is the questions are difficult, to say the least. Matter of fact, I was
paging through some of them. I think there's a pretty good mix of easy and hard.
Gabe, one year we ran out of questions.
Yeah, one year I had to come up with my own. Yeah.
All right, now, so I've only been around this program now going on my 2nd year. And
Just so you know, Gabe was like, what color are the Green Bay Packers?
This isn't my first time doing it, and it's not just for me, but what is involved here? You've said Superb Owl Squares. How do you win? How do you enter? What's the deal?
For that, I'm going to rely on Gabe Neitzel. He handles the details.
A lot of putting on the spots today. A lot of them.
Oh, because you had to drive the bus. By the way, we did have folks weighing in on the Carbless Talk and Text line 800-990-3776 saying, I can't believe I missed Chewy driving the bus. That
YouTube.
From Mitch in the 920. Yes, it will be available on YouTube if you care to watch.
So basically the way Superb Owl Squares will work is we've got these list of trivia questions, and we'll do it twice a day. Whoever gets one of the questions correct will get 10 squares on our Superb Owl Squares board. We'll have a prize pack that is still TBD, I believe, of what is all going to be in the prize pack. But, just like any other squares board, you've got the numbers that are corresponding, whatever the final score of the big game is on Sunday. That's going to be our big winner.
Yes, you get a question right. If you get a question right, you get randomly assigned 10 spots. There will be no favoritism. It'll just be picked blindly, probably by me. And
it's a pretty solid guess by you there.
We'll put the numbers in after, so you will have basically a 1 in 10 chance.
And we post the board on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter account, so you can see the board going into the big game, so you know what outcome you are rooting for. And we put together a nice little prize pack here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, so we don't give away all our little secrets, but we have put together a nice little prize pack for our loyal listeners. So again, let's get back to something we have teased a couple of times this morning. It was Saturday night. I believe it was Friday night. Friday night?
It was Saturday night.
Saturday night, okay. So it's 11:30-ish. I'm in bed, okay? Cool gal over here, sleeping, 11:30. I get a phone call from my husband who's in the living room watching television.
So the call was coming from inside the house.
Literally. I go, why are you calling me? He goes, Luka Doncic has been traded. Luka Doncic. I was like, what? He goes, they traded him to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. And I was like, thank you for telling me?
Hold on, Jen. What would have been big enough news in order for him to be okay doing that?
It's a great question. It's a great question. He's dying.
That's it?
I mean, there's nothing in the sports world at 11:30 on a Saturday.
Yes,
Jordan Love gets traded.
Giannis gets traded.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right.
You would have been like, "Are you kidding me?"
You're right.
I've added a new thing to my off season. One was I'm not listening to whatever the Bears say.
Right.
That's done. I'm not listening in training camp about the defensive line.
Right.
Yep.
And I'm no longer listening to Gabe when it comes to the Milwaukee Bucks.
You've been saying that for years. That's not new.
I'm done. I'm out.
You've already arrived at this conclusion.
Out.
You forgot that you arrived to this conclusion, but
And now
you've
we're
already
back.
been there.
Yeah, so just for people who are just tuning in, these are Chewy's New Year's resolutions. He established them on the first show after New Year's this year. They're very good ones. I don't know about the Gabe one because Gabe is our resident Bucks expert.
Can I explain? Yeah, but there's a weed whacker involved now. Can I
if I
explain
wanna
the
talk
kids?
about-
Because this came at the end of the production meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and I said I didn't even really need to ask it, but I did, and Gabe gave me pushback. You're trying to tell me that Giannis is better than Jokic?
I think he is as well.
You guys are in. I'm gonna breathe a little bit.
Okay.
You see, your take would have some weight here if you watched the NBA.
I don't need to.
Now the call is coming from inside the house.
Gabe, the only thing you could say to that is defensively. That's it.
It turns out that's half the game.
Not half. It's like 30. It's like NFL. Defense is 33%.
And I think that's a big reason why Luka Doncic was traded, right, guys?
yeah,
I mean,
it
it's
was.
because they think he's a defensive liability. We have talked about that. And look.
Well, he's doughy.
Yeah, that also is Chewy. Honestly, that was another part of the reason they traded him.
Yeah.
They didn't like his conditioning. They were scared about his conditioning and him staying in good enough shape.
Yeah, you could tell he doesn't work out just by looking at him.
And still, though, this was one of those seismic trades that sent shockwaves through the NBA because he still is one of the top 5 players in the league, isn't he?
There are 5 players who have made 5 All-NBA first teams. He's one of them. And he's the youngest by far. He's 25
years old. See, that's the other thing, man. We've had all these conversations here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy about Brian Gutekunst and moving on from guys when they get to a certain age or not being interested in guys when they get to a certain age. By all accounts, by any metric, Luka Doncic has a lot of basketball in front of him. And to be one of the best at this stage, it did seem startling. And so what we were trying to figure out in our production meeting this morning was what type of move in Wisconsin would you feel the way that Mavs fans feel, the way that NBA fans feel this morning and yesterday about Luka Doncic being sent to the Lakers for Anthony Davis? And so the only thing we could come up with was if the Packers traded Jordan Love. If the Packers traded Jordan Love, a young talent, a guy who is ascending, maybe he's not everything that you as a fan hoped he would be right now, but that would be the move, right?
I don't even think that's it. Like, this guy's one of the top 5 players in the sport. Like, Jordan's not there yet. Like, I would say Jordan is our guy for the majority of the fan base, but not everybody, right? But I mean, this would be like if the Bucks traded Giannis when he was 25, 26. Like, Giannis was our guy.
2017,
that
trade would have to happen?
Yeah, like
18?
Giannis was our guy. We watched him grow up. He was, this is going to be the guy that leads us to championships. Like if they decided to trade Brett before you guys won the Super Bowl, when everybody already started, latching onto him, after you guys went to the NFC Championship game in '95, we're going to trade Brett. What?
Why would Dallas do it? I mean, I know he probably doesn't work hard enough, clearly by looking at his body. Mm-hmm. You think they just had enough? Because Anthony Davis is on the back end.
Yeah. So I think part of it, I think it mostly comes down to, Chew, is they are betting that his best basketball is behind him. That the work ethic, that the inability to stay in shape, those types of things are going to hamper him. Like, he's already missed. He hasn't played since Christmas because he's been dealing with an injury. He's missed a bunch of games already this year. So they're betting that that's going to continue to be an issue, even though he's 25, just about to turn 26.
So they Jaired him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. A little bit. But again, it's just this guy's made 5 straight All-NBA first teams.
You also have to factor in here just bad general managing, which is something we've talked about with Xavier McKinney and obviously Saquon Barkley now in the Super Bowl. It's easy to forget, too, that Luka Doncic was the large reason, maybe the biggest reason why that team was just in the NBA Finals. I know we talk a lot.
Correct.
We talk a lot of Packers here, probably a lot of Brewers, too. We didn't talk about the NBA Finals, but he was on the precipice.
Well, it's
of,
painful.
Right. He was on the precipice of like the greatest accomplishment you can really have aside from like Hall of Fame.
A lot of articles out there if you are curious as to some of the reasons, but one of the things that is mentioned repeatedly, guys, is that Doncic was eligible for a 5-year, $345 million Supermax contract extension this summer, and there is belief around the league Dallas did not want to commit to that kind of money to Luka Doncic.
Because he would have signed it. Without a doubt, he would have signed it. This, Chewy, all right, imagine this, Chewy.
Yeah.
You're a top 5 player in the league. You're about to sign this Supermax deal. You get traded. You're now no longer eligible for that. He's losing out on $114 million.
Wow.
Because he can't sign the Supermax.
Because the Supermax has to be with the team you got drafted.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you guys have started working out for $115 million?
I don't think he was given the choice. It sounds like there were no conversations.
No.
With Luka Doncic as far as like, hey, we might be considering trading you, ship up or shape out type of thing. It sounds like this was a complete blindside.
Yeah, I would imagine he had various conversations about his work ethic and the way the shape he was in, and it became clear he's not going to do it. For them, at least, he might now.
Our pal Jason Kidd looked shell-shocked during the entire press
The
conference
hand on the
yesterday.
forehead is just like...
He's got the glasses on, the backwards hat, clearly just woke up out of bed, maybe had a little JD on his way to... Like, he's just rough day.
He's
I
like
was using that very loosely.
He's like, this is a simulation. I am living in a simulation. Gotta be. That's the only explanation. Chew, we got to take a break, bud.
Okay.
We got to get to Superb Owl Squares. We are obviously late because, hashtag Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We'll take a break. Get your dialing fingers ready. 800-990-3776. If you want to play the first round, we'll have 2 each day, every day this week of Superb Owl Squares. 800-990-3776. That's the Carbless Talk and Text line, and that is your cue to call right now.
X-Golf located at American Family Field, open year-round. It is the place you want to be if you want to be working on your game while we've got all this cold weather outside. It's a unique space because it's overlooking left field inside American Family Field, and they have, of course, just like every other X-Golf you've been to, those state-of-the-art simulators that X-Golf is known for. But what's cool about X-Golf at AmFam Field, a little bit of a different menu, full bar. The space inside, unlike anything you've ever seen. If you haven't been there, go check it out. Even if you're not a golfer, just have lunch. They've got great lunch specials going on as well. Book your sim. Find out more. Xgolf, amfamfield.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Some things you wouldn't mind being stuck with, like a huge inheritance. But a phone that has to be plugged in just right so it charges is not one of those things. Switch to Verizon and we'll pay off your old phone up to $800 via prepaid MasterCard for a new one on us. Just trade in any phone from our top brands with select unlimited plans. $829.99 purchase with new smartphone line on select unlimited plans. Minimum $90 per month with auto pay plus taxes and fees for 36 months required. Plus $830 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Trade-in terms apply. Payoff phone requires smartphone purchase and port in with new smartphone line on select plan. Must provide most recent bill showing payoff amount of eligible phone. Additional terms apply.
Welcome to TGL presented by SoFi, golf's newest league. It's sharp and it's electric. How is it sharp? How is it electric? Good questions. Try this on for size. 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime, forcing, playoffs on the line, golf. With 24 of the best players from the PGA Tour. Split into 6 teams. Atlanta, Boston, Jupiter, LA, New York, and the Bay. This isn't your average Sunday pickup game. Tune in every week for TGL matches, only on ESPN. Keep up. It's golf.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text GRIT to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text GRIT to 42424. That's GRIT to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's time for the Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Steinhoffels. Stop in for the Marquette Spirit Sales event going on Thursday, February 6th through Sunday, February 9th.
It was a massive Big East battle for Marquette on Saturday as the two-time defending national champion UConn Huskies came to town on National Marquette Day. The Golden Eagles struggled putting points on the board early and found themselves down 13 at halftime. Despite a 22-point performance from Cam Jones,
is going to go to the basket again. Layup is good.
Marquette was not able to overcome UConn's hot shooting from behind the arc, falling 77-69. Marquette quickly shifts their focus to another Big East battle on the road against St. John's on Tuesday.
This has been the Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Steinhoffels. Make sure to stop by any Milwaukee area Steinhoffels from February 6th through 9th and receive a $100 Marquette Spirit Shop gift card when you spend over $1,999. Find ESPN Milwaukee broadcasting live on Saturday from the Steinhoffels in Waukesha. You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I'm saying if we collectively, all the people in their cars, all the people listening on the YouTube stream, all the people listening this morning, if we all do it together, there's power in prayer, friends.
Yes, there is. Blessed be Father, for I played man.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Potawatomi Sportsbook is upping its game in a major move for all of the sports bettors out there. Now you can use your Potawatomi Rewards card at most self-service kiosks and at the betting counter. Bet on your favorite sports, earn reward points along the way. Now that is a winning play. You can also play the Squares game at the Potawatomi Sportsbook at all of their kiosks. So check that out as well. Bet above the rest. Learn more at paysbig.com/sportsbook. The Carbless Talkin' text line is full of folks who want to play Superb Owl Squares. Give me a little music, Joshy. I see Mike in Franklin first on the line this morning on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Good morning, Mike. Are you ready to play Superb Owl Squares?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike. Who is the only quarterback to go 0-4 in the Super Bowl? Who is the only quarterback to go 0-4 in the Super Bowl?
Jim Kelly.
Jim Kelly is a correct answer. Off to a great start. One question, one correct answer.
Wow, that went fast. That's what she said. So we get rid of that question, number one on here. We do have several pages of questions. I got to be honest, guys, I think that was the easiest one. No.
Disagree.
There is another one here. There is another one here. But that was easy, and then the one that's several down is easy, but otherwise they're pretty tough. So congratulations to Mike and Franklin. You're our first big winner this morning on Superb Owl Squares. Remember, we will play twice each day, 7:45 and 8:45 every morning to fill up our board. So if you didn't get through this time, go ahead and call us again in about an hour. Matt weighing in on the Carbless Talkin' text line as we continue talking about the blockbuster Lakers-Mavericks trade. Says, the only thing that's equivalent to this is when we traded Ray Allen for Gary Payton and Desmond Mason. My 10-year-old heart is still broken. Gabe, does that feel like a fair comp?
Ray was really good. He's a future Hall of Famer. At no point was Ray Allen one of the top 5 players in the sport. I think from a surprise standpoint, that one holds a little bit of water because at this point, if there's a trade that happens, we kind of get like a hunch, right? Like there's run up to it. Oh, rumors of this guy could get traded, right? There's some sort of breadcrumbs out there. Nobody saw this coming. Absolutely nobody saw this coming. And I think that adds to the shock value of it because typically, like when Kevin Durant got traded, one of the times that he got traded, we kind of knew that Kevin Durant was looking to get out of wherever he was previously. So that's where the shock value of this coming out of nowhere also feeds into how big it ends up being.
But that's because he didn't get along with Carl, right?
That's correct.
That's why that went down?
That's correct.
Has there been a Packer trade that's even been close? I can't think of anybody.
No, because, I mean, especially like trading players for other players in the NFL is just still a very new thing.
Like, the only thing you can even, in terms of gravity, is the Aaron Rodgers thing, but we all knew that. He announced it, and there was years of acrimony. And it wasn't like a young it wasn't a 25-year-old.
Exactly.
It was a nearly 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers. Like,
yeah.
I can't even, like, maybe the Bucks, and you would have to go to, like, I mean, Dame was a shock. But Dame's also back end of career.
Yeah, but also, like, you knew Dame was going to get traded from Portland.
Right. If you would have started a list of players to be traded, I don't think Luka would have made anyone's.
No.
Which makes it so interesting.
Well, let me take it one step further, guys, because the Bucks have been in conversations, maybe rumored to be talking. I don't think it's ever been as full as they are rumored to be, in on this player specifically, which is kind of a Bucks thing, right? We don't ever really hear those specifics when it comes to the Milwaukee Bucks. But there were other trades made this weekend. There were other players that were moved, some of which internet prognosticators have wanted the Bucks to try to make a run at. Gabe, after what you saw this week, do you feel like the Bucks are likely not going to make a move ahead of the trade deadline?
Kind of feels that way. Zach LaVine was the guy that they had been linked to, and he got traded in a different move where De'Aaron Fox got traded yesterday from the Kings. LaVine had been playing for the Bulls, part of a three-way deal there. So it kind of feels like the market's drying up for wing players that the Bucks would certainly be interested in.
I mean, to me, it doesn't really feel like Anthony Davis is sticking in Dallas.
Really? Why?
I don't know. Aren't they in a rebuild now?
No, they think that they can win with Kyrie and Anthony Davis.
So Kyrie becomes the primary ball handler, one.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, Davis is one of the best two-way players in the league.
When he's healthy.
Well, sure, yeah. Me too.
That's another guy that's hurt a lot.
Yes, correct. You're gambling a lot on the health of guys that have not been healthy.
I don't see that.
You know what's crazy is that nobody else knew this was going on. It's not like they were shopping Luka, right?
Because then they would have gotten more.
Right. So that was what was weird about it. It was like they honed in on what they wanted, and then we're like, here, we're going to give you this guy. Because this would have leaked, obviously. There would have been rumblings of this had other teams been let in the circle, the trust tree, right? Hey, we're shopping Luka. What would you guys put together for Luka? Well, then, we're talking about it on Thursday and Friday and not, at 11:30 on Saturday. So that was the other thing that was interesting about it. And that's where some people think it was mismanaged.
Yeah, and maybe the Mavs just thought, okay, if we shop him around, then he starts kind of doing what Jimmy Butler's doing right now with the Heat. Oh, I won't sign an extension there. Oh, I'm going to opt in here. I'm not going to do what you want there, and kind of manipulate their way, where this way, at least they seem like they've got some sort of control. Hey, we're getting what we want back in Anthony Davis, and we're good with that.
Tim weighing in and saying, this is the Bucks trading Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
But Kareem wanted out. Kareem asked out. That's
from a seismic standpoint,
from a seismic standpoint, sure. But again,
and you were mentioning the tiers of players, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, obviously at that time was in that same echelon as Luka.
Correct. But Kareem also wanted out. By no account did Luka want out.
Are the Lakers relevant now?
Not this year, because now they've got a giant hole in the middle of their defense. They've got no rim protection, but they've got a plan for post LeBron. They just went and got a 25-year-old superstar when their 40-year-old who knows how long he plays. So they've got a post LeBron plan, which is huge for them. Not great in the short term, but huge for them going forward.
Yeah.
Josh and I are just working on a poll to throw on the old Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Still a lot of stuff to get to in the second hour of the show. We're talking about seismic trades, the most significant in the Milwaukee sports space. Someone threw out Ray Allen. Kareem has been mentioned as well. Dustin on the Carbless Talk and Text line suggests when the Brewers acquired CC Sabathia, as opposed to giving away an asset when they acquired an asset. Maybe that gets put on there. I agree with you guys. I don't think that the Brett Favre trade, the Aaron Rodgers trade, I don't think those qualify because there was so much frustration from one side, from both sides, however you want to look at it, and therefore it became inevitable that those moves needed to take place. This was one that, again, was like, what? Did Shams get hacked? Did this really happen? We'll continue this conversation and more on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy right after this.
Never miss out on a second of the show. Find Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. Sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drink.
Couple of accidents still left up on the board. First of all, on northbound 894 at Greenfield Avenue, off on the right shoulder. We've got a crash there. Luckily, things are getting past it without too much of an issue. We are seeing delays, though, from the Rock Freeway through the Hale all the way up to National Avenue, so just be careful with that. We've also got a crash on southbound 43 right at the ramp from Wisconsin Avenue. We got the cars. Either shoulder is blocked right now with this, so we've got delays through the Marquette. Also backups from Silver Spring all the way down past Locust. Northbound 4394 slowing out of the Mitchell interchange around the Plainfield curve up past Oklahoma. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, patchy fog, mostly cloudy skies otherwise, slight mix to the north, a high of 39. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 19. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. Zero sugar, zero carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Kyle Wallace for Universal Windows Direct, and they have the Love Your Windows sale going on now. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and there's no limit. It's the perfect way to save big. Schedule your free in-home estimate today.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Because Gabe, I imagine when you go to a restaurant, Gabe, and things aren't great, you're saying it was wonderful.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to return this. You're returning used fruit? Jerry, this peach is subpar.
If something's bad, I want to get out of there as soon as possible.
But are you going to let them know that it's bad so that they can improve it for the next person?
They're not going to improve
or are
anything.
You like,
once I put that fruit out, that's where it is for me.
Well, it's still your fruit. You got to stand behind your fruit.
Hey, I stand behind my fruit.
So?
Hey, you get a bad peach? That's an act of God.
but I think you can say, and I have said, hold on, hear me out. I want you to hear the nuance in what I'm about to deliver. I did not enjoy it.
You know, this whole place is going downhill. I could have come in here last week with a bad plum, but I let it go.
Well, I got a perfect solution for you. Take your business elsewhere.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
Running around, she wants to ride, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth.
Now they're showing videos of people grieving outside.
Oh, they were protesting
the arena.
Yeah,
I believe I saw a casket.
Yeah, they brought a casket. What? I believe they were playing "See You Again" as they were walking up with the casket.
It's been a long day without you, my friend.
Yeah,
oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, no, they were having fun. Well, I guess it wasn't that fun, but
lots of reaction rolling in on the Carbless talk and text line. Jerry suggests the best NFL comparison I saw was if Jamar Chase were traded for Mike Evans and a first-round pick, just to articulate the caliber of player that we are talking about here being moved in the trade this weekend.
Does that make sense to your NFL brain, Chewy?
Yeah. What was the deal between? It wasn't man for man with Luka.
No,
and,
because you
Davis?
got to add other players. Because with the NBA, it's like the CBA. You got to make all the salaries work together. So then, like the Jazz were thrown in there. They got a couple of second-round picks for just participating and helping facilitate the deal. But basically, it's Luka for Anthony Davis.
So we put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll. What is the most seismic trade in Wisconsin sports history? Kareem, Ray Allen, CC Sabathia. CC Sabathia, who this weekend, guys, was commenting on his time in Milwaukee. That was nice to see. Joshy, you enjoyed him saying that Milwaukee was a short stop in my journey, but a forever memorable one. Was always going to give it my all no matter what. Love the city and the fans. Huge part of my career.
That era of CC Sabathia, that 2 months, that was the most unselfish performance by an athlete I think I've ever seen, and probably one we'll never see again, especially with the way baseball's going. Like, Corbin Burns was turning the ball down. Josh Hader was turning the ball down. CC Sabathia went out there and not only pitched incredibly, pitched on short rest and, a lot.
Well, he knew what it meant to the organization, to the city, to those players.
There was no need for him to do that. It was truly, I want to win, I'm having fun, this is a good time.
Especially because everyone knew he was a rental.
Yes.
So they knew he was going somewhere else after
yes.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he didn't care. He went out there every 3 days. It was outrageous what he did for the city of Milwaukee and that franchise.
So one of the other stories that we saw circulating this weekend, guys, was Cam Newton. Before I go too far into this, Josh, do we have the sound from Cam Newton saying this?
Gonna need a second.
No problem. So Cam Newton said a thing. Josh is going to get that thing. I don't want to give it away, what Cam Newton said. Could be anything, really.
It is Cam Newton.
Has to do, though, with the Super Bowl this weekend. Has to do with him winning an MVP. And Joshy is still efforting the sound on Cam Newton.
A lot of Kansas City disdain down here, including
one of my everywhere.
Former teammates.
Really?
Yeah. I was surprised.
People who are not rooting for the Chiefs this weekend, Chew?
Frankie Bag of Donuts.
Like,
I'm so sick of Kansas City. So, Gabe, it's not just me.
No, it's a lot of the country.
Okay. Sounds like we've stalled sufficiently. Let's hear from Cam Newton.
If you could give back that league MVP for a Super Bowl championship, would you do it?
No.
Oh. Really?
Really?
Wow.
What's more important, impact or championships? My take is I'm taking individual success because I did my job. Football is not about one guy trying to do 11 jobs. It's 11 guys doing one job. And if everybody does their job best, famous words of our coach, Belichick, just do your job.
Do it.
Classic, I got mine, Chew.
Yeah, there is, but there's a little truth to it. I mean, do we have Joe Thomas audio? Because he took it one step farther, which I agree with.
Remember how earlier you said a lot of putting people on the spot today? Because we made you run the show, and then I made Gabe tell the rules for Superb Owl Squares. Man, we got Joshy back there running around. Joshy gave me the thumbs up. We do have the Joe Thomas sound. Take a listen.
I'd probably have gone back and forth on this, but as I sit here today, and the Hall of Fame is going to be announced pretty soon, but I guess the Super Bowl is coming up pretty too. I mean, that Hall of Fame thing is something that you still get to celebrate with the team because there's a class that you get to go in with. Then you get to go to the Super Bowl every year. You get to go to the Hall of Fame festivities, and you get connected to several generations of football players, you know, guys that you get to grow up with. Like for me at my Hall of Fame party a couple of years ago, Leroy Butler showed up, which was amazing because I was a Packer fan growing up, and he was one of my heroes. And so, I don't know, I'm keeping that jacket, I think.
Paul ticked his way through that pretty good.
Is he right, or is he just scarred by how many games he lost?
Joe Thomas never had a chance in you-know-what to win a Super Bowl.
No chance.
Right?
Yeah.
48 wins, 128 losses over 11 seasons. If you get close to winning a Super Bowl, maybe he thinks differently. Maybe he's like, we were on the precipice. We almost got there. I would have traded my Hall of Fame career to win that game. But since they were so far, they weren't even in the galaxy of a Super Bowl. I get that take. I get it.
I can tell you this. There's nothing like knowing that everyone else in the league is watching you play. You know, and that's not just the Super Bowl. That's NFC Championship games. That is your stage. That is, you are one of the best teams in the NFL. Not for just 1 year, but for years. Tell me, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Like, and I think I've said I would trade my Super Bowl. I wouldn't trade How did I say it, Gabe?
I believe you said you would not trade your 3 Pro Bowls for another Super Bowl.
Which
I think I would. I think it's got to be closer to 5. I think it's you make you make 5 Super Bowls, or not 5 Super. You make 5 Pro Bowls. You're kind of elite.
It's like the NBA.
Right?
You know how you have to even the money?
Yes.
You have to even the ledger?
Correct.
Yeah.
3 Pro Bowls is not does not equal
What's
1
the
Super Bowl.
What's the exchange rate?
Yeah.
Would you do the league MVP for Super Bowl?
I
I
think-
think I'd take Super Bowl.
I think the league MVP, yes, because like Cam Newton's not going to make it to the Hall of Fame. Rich Gannon has a league MVP. He's not making it to the Hall of Fame.
No.
I think I'm taking the Hall of Fame jacket over a Super Bowl.
Does taking the MVP over a Super Bowl make you selfish?
Well, I think any way you look at it, it's pretty selfish.
Yeah, either way you cut it.
You know, there's no I mean, if there's any better saying, there's no I in team, but there is a me.
Right, and what I'm saying is, if Cam Newton could right now rub the genie's lamp, snap his fingers, pull an eyelash, whatever it is, make a wish, and get a Super Bowl for that team,
but
look at all
Jen,
the other people that benefit from that success. The MVP is just Cam. So that's why it's a weird thing to say out loud. Like, we know you were good. And also, Chew, if you lead a team to the Super Bowl, you're good. Right? I know that people want to take shots at Eli Manning. I know people want to take shots at some of the other quarterbacks, Dilfer, blah, 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 over the years who have won Super Bowls. But for the most part, I think people would put Cam Newton up there as a very talented elite quarterback who was so good, he led his team to a Super Bowl, to the Vince Lombardi Trophy.
But let's keep in mind, this is Carolina. I think there's a difference if you're winning a Super Bowl in Green Bay or Dallas or San Francisco. He might rethink that. You know, yeah, I won a Super Bowl in Carolina.
Yeah, but I would also argue that that a team that is starved for that level of success, you would be even more of a folk hero. You would even be more of a remembered.
Gabe?
I think Chewy's got a point.
Wait, hold on.
I mean,
time out. What just happened here? He didn't want to make the argument, so he deferred to you?
Well, because the point that Chewy's making is that Carolina, because they haven't been around for that long, they haven't been good for that long, like, the fan base isn't that large. It's not like, how many Carolina Panthers fans do you know? Right?
I don't know any.
Exactly. That's the point.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you know a Niners fan, you know a Cowboys fan, you know I mean we're in Wisconsin, so of course you know Packers fans. But there are legacy franchises within the NFL that have a larger footprint than Carolina that would have a more lasting impact.
But even look at Chicago. You know, Jim McMahon, legend. Mike Ditka, legend. All those guys, the Super Bowl shuffle guys, they're legends in Chicago. I mean, is Cam Newton a legend in Carolina? Yeah, maybe.
But how much more of a legend is he if he leads them to the Super Bowl? If they win a Super Bowl, they're putting a statue up. Does he have a statue?
No.
I should have checked. I should have checked before I threw that out there. But the point is that if they win the Super Bowl, they're putting a statue up to him.
You think?
Maybe.
You don't think he's hey, who was that guy that played quarterback for Carolina?
When they won
What
the
was his
Super Bowl.
name? Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Who was the coach of the Bears in 85? Ditka. You know? It's just kind of a different ring.
I just think it elevates you up a whole nother level from a memorable standpoint. And I think that him articulating that if he had the choice, he wouldn't trade his MVP for a Super Bowl, I think it's a selfish look. I'm sure Cam Newton's a great guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm not sitting here trying to attack him as a person. I'm just saying that this take of you have the opportunity to win something for all the guys. Everybody always says football's the ultimate team sport. Can't win unless everybody's doing their job well. So Cam is basically saying I got mine. I did my job well. Y'all didn't do your jobs well enough, but I did my job well enough. And he's walking off into the sunset with the MVP.
Didn't really do his job good enough in the Super Bowl.
The poll should really be, is anyone surprised that Cam Newton said this? I guarantee it's in the 90s. No.
But I guess it's also tougher. Like, I think it would be easier for like Rodgers or Brady or Manning. Like one of those guys who has multiple MVPs. Yeah, I'd give back one of my MVPs for a Super Bowl. Well, yeah, then you still have 3 MVPs and 2 Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? Like when you have just one MVP, like I'm guessing he holds that pretty close to his heart. Like he had a really good season where he was the best player in the NFL.
What about Jim Kelly? Would you trade 4 Super Bowl appearances for 1 win?
Probably.
I don't think Jim Kelly's as big a name if he just won 1 Super Bowl.
But did he go to the other ones? He went to all 4. He won 1.
Yeah.
No. I mean, the arc, the storyline
No.
arc.
Jen, I'm saying he just went to 1 and won it.
Oh,
and
yeah,
never
no,
went to
he's
the
not
Super
as
Bowl
memorable. This goes back to the Armando Galarraga thing, right? When we were doing the documentary last year, the number of former players who said nobody remembers Armando Galarraga's name if he throws that perfect game. Because there have been 20-plus guys who have thrown perfect games. Good luck naming them. But you remember his name because he's the one guy whose perfect game was taken from him by a call by the umpire at first base. Similarly with Jim Kelly. You remember Jim Kelly because he lost all of them.
Yeah,
If he went to 1 and won 1, he's sort of just a footnote in the history of the NFL. But he stands out because of the unique distinction of his journey.
And 4 in a row.
It's tough.
4 in a row. That's that. You know how incredible that is, though, when you think of it?
Oh, yeah. It's insane.
It's almost as impressive as winning 3 in a row.
Oh, shut up, Richard. Not happening. Not happening.
Reaction rolling in. Cordell in the 262 on the Carbless Talk and Text line, 800-990-3776, says, Kurt Warner winning in St. Louis is like Cam winning in Carolina. That team will never be forgotten or confused with other championships. Of course, there are St. Louis Rams fans who would like to forget the St. Louis Rams since they moved up on out of there.
Did he win 2 there or 1? He went to 2 there and lost.
Went to
right?
2
New
there,
England?
lost, went to another one when he was with Arizona and lost.
Yeah.
Dave says, what about the Super Bowl MVP, Cam? Excellent point. You could have won a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl MVP had you been able to win the big one. I don't know. Again, this is not an attack on Cam Newton personally. I don't like the take. It feels selfish. It'd be like the 4 of us being up for an award, some radio award, where we have a chance to win that, but one of us wins for Host of the Year. I'd be happy for you. I'd congratulate you for it, but it would feel a lot cooler if the 4 of us won something together.
Chewy wants Host of the Year for himself.
No,
well, especially after the first segment today.
After leading the show earlier.
What do I get for a grade? Now, there's a scale.
Well, Gabe didn't get to hear a single second of the show.
I'm giving you an A, bud.
Oh, thanks. Okay.
Kiss ass.
Still not listening to you on the box.
We'll take a break. We'll take a break here on Jed, Gabe, and Chewy. Still a lot of stuff to get to, including superb owl squares coming up in about 30 minutes. Make sure you have your dial-in fingers ready to play superb owl squares all week long. I know New Year is a time when a lot of people want to hit the reset button. Maybe it's fitness, wellness, or you just want to take better care of yourself. Luca. Let's be honest, guys. Feeling confident in how you look and feel isn't just for the ladies. That's where Quintessa Aesthetic Center comes in. From now through March 31st, they are offering special packages to help you start 2025 as the most confident you there can be. Whether it's wellness and weight loss plans, Botox, skincare, or maybe you're interested in IV therapy, they've got personalized options based on medical expertise to help you look and feel your best. What are you waiting for? We're giving you the options. Check it all out at myquintessa.com and make this the year that you feel the most confident inside and out.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Couple of accidents still left up on the board. First of all, on northbound 894 at Greenfield Avenue, off on the right shoulder. We've got a crash there. Luckily, things are getting past it without too much of an issue. We are seeing delays, though, from the Rock Freeway through the Hale all the way up to National Avenue, so just be careful with that. We've also got a crash on southbound 43 right at the ramp from Wisconsin Avenue. We got the cars. Either shoulder is blocked right now with this, so we've got delays through the Marquette. Also backups from Silver Spring all the way down past Locust. Northbound 4394 slowing out of the Mitchell interchange around the Plainfield curve up past Oklahoma. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, patchy fog, mostly cloudy skies otherwise, slight mix to the north, a high of 39. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 19. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Whether you are a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit our great city of Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Hey, maybe you got friends coming in from out of town. St. Kate the Arts Hotel is ideally located in the heart of the theater district in downtown Milwaukee with deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music. You and your friends will enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
Great Midwest Bank has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems, a 100% locally owned and managed business technology company. The bank's IT systems administrator, Michael Quizon, comments on the value of local.
We call on them at any point, they're there. We ask them any questions that we have, they're there.
James Imaging Systems, local business technology solutions, local support, local accountability. Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales for the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra.
If an issue does arise, they're very prompt, polite, and professional. It makes me feel empowered because I find it very easy to resolve something.
James Imaging Systems client, Al Leidinger, President of Matheson Manufacturing, summarized the benefit of local.
James Imaging has been a really good partner with us from the beginning.
Go with local. Go with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
So many of our youth carry unimaginable burdens. Anger, depression, even thoughts of suicide. At Rawhide Youth Services, we recognize their pain. We help them find hope and healing. For those that need a second chance at life, we refuse to give up on them. Please be a part of our life-saving work. When you donate your used vehicle to Rawhide, you're helping change the lives of countless youth in our communities. Go to rawhide.org/donate and help them realize a brighter future today.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris are joined by Bucks analyst Steve Novak. Find Here District now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Ryan and McGuanago weighing in. Hey, if you find something that sucks for 25 years, you hold on to that.
Yeah, that is very good point.
Because usually the sucking only happens before you get married, and then the sucking just stops.
We're going to get fired.
Yeah. On 94.5 ESPN.
In my mind when she's not right there beside me, I go crazy because here isn't where I want to be. And satisfaction feels like a distant memory, and I can't help myself alright.
Back here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, go ahead and weigh in on this question. What is the most seismic trade in Wisconsin sports history? Kareem, Ray Allen, CC Sabathia, or let us know if we're forgetting one. Obviously, the Brewers acquired CC Sabathia. The other two were the Bucks dealing those players. We don't think that the Rodgers one fits. We don't think that the Favre one fits. But if there are any other trades over the course of your lifetime or even before that you feel like, you know, shocked the system, shocked the fan base, let us know. 800-990-3776 on the Carbless talk and text line. The reason we brought up Jordan Love is because we feel like from a Packers standpoint, he is the Luka Doncic of the Packers. What would Jordan Love have to do to even find himself in a position, Gabe, where he would be traded by the Green Bay Packers? Now, again, as we've gone over some of the things that contributed to this move, you know, Luka's work ethic might have been in question. His obviously ability to, again, I don't want to say stay in shape. I feel like that might be like fit shaming. I don't know. Like, I you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
but it turns out fitness is a prerequisite for being an NBA player.
I agree with you, but you could also make the argument, Gabe, that like he, despite our perception of fitness or lack thereof, he's been wildly successful. You could argue at his quote-unquote fitness, he's been more successful than the vast majority of other athletes in the NBA. If he can get away with being, again, quote-unquote, not fit, and also have that level of success, who are we to be like, nah, man, you're too doughy. You're not having success.
Well,
because he is.
Sure, but also, like, I mean, that works when you're 25. Doesn't work when you're 30, 31, 32. Like, you got to have the work ethic if you want to have survive. I mean, you look at what LeBron's doing. man, I can't believe LeBron's doing what he's doing because he takes care of his
Well,
body.
and we make fun of Tom Brady all the time for all of the things, but he does
Take
all
care
of
his
the
body,
things.
yes. So, that's what this was from the Mavs. This was a bet that, yeah, you've had all the success in spite of this. As you get older, that's going to become a bigger deal. We don't want to give you the Supermax. We're going to move on.
Maybe, but Chewy, to me, that feels a little like Minority Report. Like we are penalizing you for crimes that you may commit in the future. You may not increase your fitness. You may not start working out to the level that we want to.
My guess is this has been ongoing for a couple of years. They're probably telling him to get in better shape. He doesn't want to. Because I played with guys. I'll give you Reggie. Reggie was a beast on the field. He had superhuman strength. That guy was never in the weight room. Never in the weight room. Could you imagine if Reggie was super dedicated to the weight room during his heyday? He would have been so much better. But he didn't need to be because he was such a freak. You know, we would test out for 315 every year. That was
I don't know what that means.
On the bench.
Yeah.
315 pounds on the bench.
315, so it was obviously offensive, defensive linemen, tight ends, linebackers had to do 315. Reggie probably never lifted a weight in the offseason and still went in and did it for like 11 or 12. Now, that is insane. That's insane.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Could you imagine if he was a workout freak and he did it for 25?
Yeah, but maybe that would have stymied his success.
It could have. It could have.
Or maybe he gets hurt, and I'm not saying, but it's not unprecedented for guys to get hurt lifting weights or get hurt working out, maybe he thought the risk didn't outweigh the reward since he was so successful doing
the greatest of all time.
Exactly. He was already doing what he was doing.
But it was frustrating for guys like me because if I didn't go in the weight room and treat it like Reggie, I would have been in the NFL for 7 minutes. Seriously.
No, I get it. And that's where I'm wondering if some of this isn't just our perceptions of what an athlete should be doing, what an athlete should look like. Again, I'm not claiming to know more than the inner workings of the Dallas Mavericks, but I am saying Luka has been wildly successful, unprecedentedly successful. Again, relative to the other NBA players. And so there's a part of me that goes like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, if they think it's broke and they asked him to fix it, then that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But again, everybody knows Luka sucks at defense. Mm-hmm. Nobody's sitting over here going, well, if you look at it through this prism, if you turn the kaleidoscope this way, actually he's pretty good. No, he's not. So I think the easy explanation, Gabe, is just that they want a two-way player. I mean, as evidenced by they traded for Anthony Davis, who is obviously very good at that.
All the reports also circle around the fitness aspect of this, being able to stay in shape, being able to, and again, just because he looks a little doughy doesn't mean he's not in shape. Like, you can still move. But again, there were some reports that maybe he's ballooned up to 270 pounds while he's been dealing with a calf injury that's kept him out since Christmas. Right? Like, if you're not doing the things to take care of your body, you're not going to get back out there on the floor in a decent amount of time.
Look at LeBron. I'm sure LeBron had to pivot. Look, at 25, you can eat hot dogs and pizzas and stuff like that and be fine. You can't do that at 32.
Well, and crushing that beer. Remember that video that went viral? Wasn't that Finley who walked over and took it away and looked at him like a disappointed dad? Like, maybe there's some of that. But also I go back to, he's 25.
Yeah.
I feel like at 25 you can chug a beer, have a beer, enjoy a beer after a big game, after a big series win.
The Mavericks obviously disagreed. And that's your boss, and that's the one that's paying you the check. And ultimately, those decisions cost him $114 million.
So let me ask you this, guys. Taking the fitness out of it, Jordan Love, because that's what obviously we have mentioned. A lot of people are asking, what's the connection between the Packers and Jordan Love and the Luka Doncic trade? We were trying to figure out what would Jordan Love have to do to even be somebody that the Packers would want to move on from. And somebody weighed in on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube stream saying if Love pulled a move like Dobbs and just didn't show up for a week, that'd be the only reason they would even consider trading him. That from Jim on the YouTube stream. If Jordan Love didn't improve his mechanics, right? You had Tom Clements there working with Jordan on his quarterback mechanics, working on his footwork. If he doesn't get better and they're not seeing the dedication or the commitment to that aspect of his game, would that raise some red flags within the organization, Chew?
Yeah, but the most obvious way is he gets Wally pipped. Like Trent Green or I can't think of another one that comes to mind. But if he gets hurt, misses 5 games, and all of a sudden Malik Willis comes in and 400 yards, 398, 350, 410. Going to be hard to
Did you
replace.
watch Malik Willis?
I saw Kurt Warner too.
I was gonna say,
actually was in camp with Kurt Warner, and like, Kurt, you're in. Nah, it doesn't feel right. Just doesn't. Yeah, but you're a free agent that we just signed. Nah, I'm not going in. You've seen that story, right? That's true. You know what I'm talking about?
No idea.
No idea.
Nope.
So we're in training camp. Mooch, and it's in the movie. Mooch goes over and goes, Kurt, you're in. He's like, I'm not feeling it today. We just picked you up off the street. You should feel it. No, I'm not feeling it. And then they cut him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
Makes a lot of sense.
I mean, they cut him like that afternoon, and we were like, where the hell Kurt go? He didn't want to play on Wednesday, so okay. Good enough.
It's just so hard to compare to the NFL because, like, the top 5 players in the NFL are all quarterbacks. Nobody's trading a top 5 NFL quarterback. Like, you hold on to those guys, right? Like, even when Aaron and Brett was coming off one of his best years, yes, there were extenuating circumstances. Aaron wasn't a top 5 quarterback by the time the Packers traded him. Like, he wasn't in that stratosphere anymore, despite winning an MVP just 2 seasons before. He just wasn't. Like, it's just so hard because, I mean, the only way the Packers move on from Jordan Love at this point, yeah, because if he doesn't improve his mechanics, Jen, he's not going to be good enough, and they're going to want to move on. Like, if he's not good enough, that's how they move on. And that's the only reason you ever move on from a guy at quarterback is because you don't think he's good enough.
Where do you think he was this last year?
Jordan?
Was he top 10? Was he top 12?
What metric you want to use?
Feels.
Eye test?
Yeah.
Gut.
Well, gut and feels.
I mean, is QBR a good measure? I mean,
Can
everyone
be.
goes to touchdowns, interceptions, which he wasn't great at.
Especially early, but he cleaned it up late.
Oh.
He's probably somewhere around that 9 to 12 range, Chew.
Okay.
If I just kind of off the top of my head.
Yeah, he's got to make strides.
Reaction rolling in on the Carbless Talk and text line as we have been asking you for the seismic trades that have occurred in Wisconsin sports. Obviously, in the wake of the Luka Doncic trade in the NBA. Tony weighing in saying losing Drew really sucked as a Bucks fan, and getting Yelich was a huge trade for the Milwaukee Brewers. Both good trades that occurred that were beneficial. Well, trading Drew Holiday they didn't go right to the Celtics, did he?
No,
Where did he go?
They traded him to Portland, and then Portland, again, they didn't want to get older, so they were the ones that ultimately were responsible for him going to Boston.
He also adds that Zach Greinke was one of the best Christmas presents he ever got as a Brewers fan because it made the pitching staff legit. So when the Brewers acquired Zach Greinke as well, Chef Ed says the 2 trades I was surprised by were Ray Allen to Seattle, and going way back, the Brewers traded George the Boomer Scott to Boston, but we got Cecil Cooper in return. Keep getting us your seismic trades in the state of Wisconsin, in Wisconsin sports, in your lifetime or before, as we compare them to what went down in the NBA this weekend. Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit our great city of Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. It's ideally located in the heart of the theater district in downtown Milwaukee. Deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music, so you will enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Maybe you have friends who are coming in from out of town. When they ask you, hey, where should we stay? Your first and only answer should be St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We still have a couple of accidents. One northbound on 894 at Greenfield Avenue off on the right shoulder. Another one on southbound 43 right in the Marquette. Both of these are actually okay as far as folks getting past it. So at least we got that going for us. Southbound, though, on 43 is going to be a bit heavy from before Hampton all the way down towards Locust. Northbound slowing around the North Avenue curve up to Locust. Also some delays eastbound 94 coming in from 84th Street all the way through the stadium. The westbound side slowing from 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Patchy fog, mostly cloudy with a slight mix to the north, a high of 39. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 19. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then, you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text GRIT to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text GRIT to 42424. That's GRIT to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This Black History Month, National University honors those who have broken barriers and paved the way for future generations. If you're a parent and a professional, a dreamer and a doer, NU is here to support you with flexible online classes and career-focused resources, so you can earn your degree while balancing work, family, and everything in between. Visit nu.edu to learn more. That's nu.edu.
Welcome to TGL presented by SoFi, golf's newest league. It's sharp and it's electric. How is it sharp? How is it electric? Good questions. Try this on for size. 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line, golf. With 24 of the best players from the PGA Tour, split into 6 teams: Atlanta, Boston, Jupiter, LA, New York, and the Bay. This isn't your average Sunday pickup game. Tune in every week for TGL matches, only on ESPN. Keep up. It's golf.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, has college football gotten a little sleazy? Where you can recruit a little? No, I'm saying from the standpoint, it used to be. That was good.
On 94.5 ESPN.
The Deer District Prep Showcase will be at Fiserv Forum coming up this Saturday. 10 high school boys basketball teams hit the court for an exciting day of action. Watch games featuring State Power Kettle Moraine, along with Nicolay, Milwaukee Juneau, Kohler, Lake Mills, Sun Prairie East, and Racine Park. General admission tickets are just $15 and are valid for all 5 games. See the full schedule. Get your tickets today. FiservForum.com. Caller 4 right now wins 4 tickets to Saturday's game. Caller 4 wins 4 tickets to Saturday's game at Fiserv. 800-990-3776 to win.
You you can do a lot of prop bets at Potawatomi Sportsbook for the big game this weekend. I don't think there is an over-under on the Tush Push. I don't think. I haven't seen that one. Of how many times. Have you seen it?
I wouldn't say that. I was looking at them. You could bet everything there.
I haven't seen
I wouldn't make that
over-under
I'll double check.
On the Tush Push specifically. Jalen Hurts rushing touchdowns? Sure, that is obviously something you can bet on. But the quote-unquote Tush Push, I haven't seen that. Mark Murphy, president still of your Green Bay Packers, doesn't like the Tush Push. He is not a fan of the play. There is no skill involved. It is an automatic first down on plays of a yard or less. The series of plays with the Commanders jumping off sides in the NFC Championship game to try to stop the play was ridiculous. The referee even threatened to give the Eagles an automatic touchdown. Yes, we all saw that. There used to be a rule prohibiting this, but it is no longer enforced because I believe it was thought to be too hard for the officials to see. The play is bad for the game. We should go back to prohibiting the push of the runner. This would bring back the traditional quarterback sneak that worked pretty well for Bart Starr and the Packers in the Ice Bowl. Chew, does Mark Murphy have a point?
Yes. I didn't think it was a big deal when I played. I mean, it was pretty simple. You couldn't assist the runner moving forward. And I think they should go back to it. I don't like it. I just don't. It's too rugby-ish. You know, this isn't rugby. This is football.
But so long as it is legal, you understand why teams like the Green Bay Packers have tried their own variation of it, right? With Tucker Kraft sneaking under center.
I don't realize why teams just don't copy the Eagles. It's not that difficult.
I mean, it's a little tough. We saw it blew up a couple of different times for the Bills in the AFC Championship game. The reason why it's so automatic for the Eagles is because Saquon Barkley can also just, squat a truck. Like the dude is he's super strong, so that's why it's kind of automatic for them and mostly automatic for other teams.
I think it was automatic for them last year, though, too, before he was on the team.
Jalen Hurts can squat 600 pounds himself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jalen Hurts is the guy that makes that thing almost automatic.
Oh, you said Saquon Barkley.
Oh, that I meant.
Yeah.
I meant
Okay,
Jalen
that
Hurts,
makes sense.
who also can squat the world. But that's the reason why it's automatic for them, because he's that strong. Again, we saw it blow up for Josh Allen. They tried it. Got denied on fourth down. Tried it at the goal line. For two.
I'm picturing Josh Allen now like Shooter McGavin in the woods trying to do the Happy Gilmore swing. Yeah. I'm picturing Josh Allen now in the weight room trying to squat like Jalen Hurts just to get the benefit of the Tush Push. The Packers went 5 of 5 on conversions using the Tucker Kraft cheesy squeezy, which is what we should call it, even though everyone hates it. Don't look at me that way. I'm not even looking at Gabe right now, as you can see on the YouTube stream, and I can feel his eyes boring into my skull.
Know everybody hates it, and we should do this even though everybody hates it.
I like cheesy squeezy.
That's like, hey, this milk smells like it's gone bad. Try some. No. What are you, insane?
Again, I like cheesy squeezy. I think
you're the only one who likes cheesy squeezy.
Doesn't make it bad.
No. No, I think it could be better with the Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Oh.
Because Kraft macaroni and cheese is legit. That might be the best macaroni and cheese out there.
I don't know
it's
about
good.
That.
Ask your kids.
Your point is you should use Kraft's last name as part of the name for the play he is involved in.
When is the last time you had Kraft macaroni and cheese?
It's been a while.
It is good, though.
So good.
Well, yeah,
it
but like
good.
him... He's making Kraft mac and cheese? Come on.
Well, I got here's the deal. I have staples in my house for like last night. Like, what do you want to have for dinner? I don't want to go anywhere.
Oh my God, I literally was picturing the Office product, Staples. Yeah. And you're talking about Staples as in...
Yes. No. So the staples are, you always got to have hot dogs and beans in the house. Okay? Cut up the hot dog, stick them in the bean. That is a good Sunday night meal when you don't know what to do.
Baked beans?
No.
Yes. Kraft macaroni and cheese is another one. What do you want?
Really?
I'll just house a Kraft macaroni and cheese. Yes. Yes.
I didn't realize that you kept, again, for my body as a temple guy, I didn't think that Kraft mac and cheese would be a staple in the household.
Let me get this straight. One of your go-to staples is literally Flanking beans. Flanking beans.
Oh, love them. You guys don't do that? It's the best. Because when you fly back here and it's, 9:30, 10 at night, and nothing's open, you don't want to, you got to have those things.
You missed the
in the
5:30
house.
dinner. Yeah, I get it.
Break glass in case of emergency. And those are the two things I normally have, and they're delish.
Dave from Aaron says, how about the cheese wedge? I believe that has been thrown out there as well in regards to the Packers. Cheese squeeze, Dumpy in West Bend, which sort of feels like a trademark infringement on the cheesy squeezy.
I mean, both are bad.
So says you.
So says everybody.
Maybe we should put it on the poll.
Nope.
I think mine's the best.
Which is what?
Kraft mac and cheese.
It
Gabe,
needs to
his
be a
last name's
little
Kraft.
more
I
creative.
understand.
It needs to be a little more creative.
Yeah, like-
It feels like we're in the first phase of a workshop here.
Like the brotherly shove is, again.
The only one that makes any
describing
sense would
what's
be
happening.
the love shove, and he doesn't even do it anymore.
Right, exactly. That's why we can't do the love shove. Ergo,
Oh,
cheesy
no.
squeezy.
Looks like we just have to not use it.
Looks like we could go with cheesy squeezy.
Looks like we should just call it a sneak.
Joshy, do you feel strongly about the tush push one way or another?
Not super strongly. There is a aspect of it where it doesn't totally feel like football. It feels like inevitable. It feels like the game would also benefit from more people being forced to be more creative on fourth down. Like at this point, if it's 4th and 1, regardless of who's doing it, they're almost all doing a variation of it, and it almost always works. Like forcing teams to either find a rush play or a pass play to get there, I think is better for the game and entertainment.
Yeah, I agree.
Because watching just like a rugby scrum and it go a yard and then reset the downs is kind of like, okay, yeah, great.
Or with Jalen Hurts just doing a straight up sneak, and if that still works for them because he's just so strong, like that's a legitimate advantage to having a quarterback whose legs are that strong.
So here's the only thing that I don't like the idea of outlawing something just because a team can do it, right? So I think about Victor Wembanyama in the NBA, new teammates with De'Aaron Fox apparently, and I think about him being just this freak, this physical freak, right? And you're playing in a sport where the closer you are to the basket, the closer you are to the hoop, the easier it is to score. I just looked up stats. He's made 83 dunks out of 88 attempts, resulting in a 94.3 success rate. If all of a sudden you were like, it's not fair. It's not fair that Victor Wembanyama is so close to the target. He's so close to the hoop. We need to outlaw dunking. You cannot dunk anymore. Now, that's not to say that other people aren't dunking. And again, it's not to say that other teams aren't doing a version of the tush push with some level of success. But Victor Wembanyama's height helps him dunk at a higher success rate than some other players in the league. You don't just outlaw the dunk because it's not fair that Victor Wembanyama can dunk easier or better than other players out there.
But the problem is Victor Wembanyama dunking is awesome. Like, it's entertaining. It's a part of what makes the game fun, that gets the crowd going. When's the last time you heard the crowd? Oh, boy, here comes the tush push.
Well, we're not asking the right people. I bet you if you asked Philadelphia Eagle fans, they get real jacked about the old tush push being inside the one.
I've watched enough Eagles games. When they line up in the tush push, it's not like the crowd pops and gets excited. Just, all right, we'll run your play, move on. And
they sit there and say it's a first down.
First and foremost, the NFL is an entertainment product. That play is not entertaining. It stinks. It's not fun to watch. Nobody likes it.
Except the Eagles fans.
That's why to me, they should change it. Because if the NFL's an entertainment product, and that play makes the product less good, less entertaining.
But if all of a sudden your team has a weapon or has something that helps them, that gives them a 100% or close to 100% chance of having a success rate, all of a sudden you're all for it. The only reason that the overwhelming majority of people don't like the tush push is because it doesn't benefit their team. I bet to a man, if you ask Eagles fans, they love the thing. Because again, it is almost a guaranteed success. And there are very few of those things in the league. I don't know. Again, it doesn't benefit my team, so I'm not a huge fan. But I also don't like the precedent it would set to start eliminating elements of the game just because one team seems to be able to do it better than everyone else. 800-990-3776. We'll put it on the old Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter account, and you can give us your reaction on the Carbless talk and text line as well. Should the tush push be banned? The reason it's being brought up today, obviously the Eagles are in the Super Bowl. You will likely see the tush push at least a few times. Certainly when the Eagles get inside the red zone, get inside the 5-yard line. But Mark Murphy said in his Murphy Takes 5 He doesn't like it. He wants it to be banned. He wants it to be outlawed. Chew, do you think it should be outlawed?
Yeah, I go back to the way the rule was. You can't assist players moving forward. I don't know why they changed it. It's stupid. Wasn't a big deal.
Any possible rule change would have to come in the offseason via the league's competition committee. Unclear if a lot of people pointing to the Commanders and what the Commanders did and how they were trying to beat it by jumping and get ahead of it. And then obviously there was that whole thing where we're going to reward you a score if you keep doing that. What? We're just trying to stop it. No indication of whether or not that will move this thing along any faster. We have to take a break. We have superb owl squares coming up next. Joshy, clear the phone lines. 800-990-3776. That's your carbless talk and text line. Less is more, and it is your chance to participate in superb owl squares right after this on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Guys, I'm telling you, if you're making plans to propose to that special someone in your life, of course, the Jewelry Center is the only place to go for the ring. They're the best place to shop for diamond engagement rings in Milwaukee for a reason. It's exactly what I did when I decided it was time to propose to my wife. It's exactly what you should do because the diamond engagement ring selection, unprecedented at the Jewelry Center. Whether you're looking for naturally mined diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, they've got it all. But my favorite part about the Jewelry Center, the helpful team that Dean the Dancing Machine has put together over there. Because if you don't really have those ideas, like, okay, I want to get engaged, don't know what the ring should look like, hey, check out our Pinterest board. If there's ideas there, bring them into the Jewelry Center. They make that dream a reality. Check them out online, shoptjc.com, or stop in to any one of their 3 locations, Greenfield, Brookfield, or in Burlington. And when you go to the Jewelry Center, make sure you tell them that Gabe and Chew sent you.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
This is Kevin Moret from Mentality. Men, you're being robbed of your potential. Research shows a shocking 1% annual decline in testosterone levels. That's why building muscle feels impossible and your confidence is at an all-time low. But here's the truth. You're not alone in this uphill battle. Mentality's physician-directed, FDA-approved treatment doesn't just level the playing field. It restores your body's powerful balance. Our patients experience a documented 30% increase in their testosterone levels. Stop struggling and turn this around. Defy the odds and reclaim your masculine edge at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Whether you are a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit our great city of Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Hey, maybe you got friends coming in from out of town. St. Kate the Arts Hotel is ideally located in the heart of the theater district in downtown Milwaukee with deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music. You and your friends will enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Hey, it's Chris Canty. Guys, you don't want to fumble Valentine's Day. You need a solid game plan. Send foolproof flowers from the Books Company and get 25% off your entire purchase. Books flowers are fresh, vibrant, and last way longer. Some are even grown on the side of a volcano. Don't wait. Valentine's Day is February 14th, so get your order in now. Go to Books.com. Use my promo code CANTY for 25% off. That's BOUQS.com, promo code CANTY. Books, promo code CANTY.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
How much will Angie let you grow a beard?
I would say for 3 months I have to keep a beard if I lose.
Okay, and Angie would allow you to have a beard for 3 months.
She doesn't run my life. Drop that.
Yeah.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, and it is that time. Superb owl squares here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. They tell me it's like 5 years running. 5? 4. It doesn't matter. It's been a while. Let's go out to the phone lines. Dumpy in West Bend, you got in first. On the Carbless Talk and Text line, are you ready to play Superb Owl Squares?
I'm all kinds of ready.
All right. Shout out to Hembo from ESPN, Get Up fame. He is the one who gave us these questions. Who is the youngest quarterback to start in the Super Bowl?
Take care, be good.
Take care, be good.
All right.
All right, let's go out to Sam in Kenosha.
Answer to that question, by the way, Dan Marino. Dan Marino
Yeah, I was
is the
gonna say
youngest
Dan
quarterback to start a Super Bowl.
Sam in Kenosha, you're up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Can you... Oh, wow. Talk about autopilot. Are you ready to play Superb Owl Squares?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Which are the only teams to meet 3 times head-to-head in the Super Bowl?
Packers and Chiefs.
It's incorrect. The Cowboys and the Steelers. Cowboys and Steelers.
yeah,
75, 78, and 1995.
Good trivia. Let's go out to Justin in Cudahy. You're up next. What, really, Jen? I just keep going into autopilot. Can you complete our top 8 at 8 list? Are you ready to play Superb Owl Squares?
I'm ready. Let's give it a shot.
Tom Brady lost all 3 of his Super Bowls against which division?
That would be the NFC West.
The NFC East. The NFC East lost twice to the Giants, once to the Philadelphia Eagles.
I actually told Gabe, I'm like, I think that's a layup. All you need to know is one of the teams that
You
beat the
obviously
Patriots.
don't remember this game from years past.
Let's go out to AJ in Heartland. AJ, you are up next. Are you ready to play Superb Owl Squares?
I'm ready.
Who is the last running back to win Super Bowl MVP?
Oh, is it James White?
No, James White should have won the MVP, but Terrell Davis is the last running back to win Super Bowl MVP.
Nicole and Aaron, are you ready to play Superb Owl Squares?
Sure, let's see what I can do.
All right, Nicole, which are the only 2 teams to enter a Super Bowl undefeated?
You got this one. I know it.
Okay. So, the Patriots
Correct.
Yep.
is one of them.
Uh-huh.
And then the Kansas City Chiefs.
The Miami Dolphins.
Famously.
Miami Dolphins.
Champagne poppers. All right, let's go out to Daryl in Milwaukee. Daryl, can you win Superb Owl Squares?
I'm hoping so.
There we go.
I would have loved to have a couple of those prior answers.
I think you're going to like this one.
Yeah, let's go.
The same player won MVP of Super Bowls 1 and 2. Who was that player?
I would like to go with, oh boy. Bart Starr.
Okay, thank God.
Yes, thank you.
Holy moly. Gabe and I were going to need oxygen over here if you missed that one, Daryl in Milwaukee. Congratulations. You win Superb Owl Squares for $8.45. We will give you 10 squares on the old Superb Owl Square board.
We're out of time, so it was going to be the last question regardless.
Wow.
But either he got it right or we were going to need the amount of time before tomorrow off just to kind of recover from not getting that one right.
Congratulations, Daryl. Thanks for playing Superb Owl Squares. Remember, 8 more chances for you to win all week long. Will D and Tausch is next on ESPN Milwaukee.
Things are winding down nicely. We do still have a little bit of a backup eastbound 94 between 84th Street and the Stadium interchange. Westbound's